Welcome back, Wolfpack Verlis here, and this is how to use Mow Rotom. Rotom Cut? Motom? One of those. It's a lawnmower that wants to destroy things, and that's pretty cool. Actually, a possessed lawnmower. So one thing I'm going to be doing differently is I'm going to be swapping around what I do. We're looking at the electric grass typing first, and that's mostly because with Rotom's forms, we just saw Wash Rotom, one of the best defensive forms in the game. It's going to work out really well that with its base tankiness, having a really solid typing to rely on makes it good. Now, here's the thing. I have this infamous disdain towards grass typing because whatever it touches, it kind of hurts really bad. Now with the electric grass typing and the levitate ability, Mow Rotom doesn't have too much defensive prowess, and that's pretty unfortunate. So we're going to have to look at it as kind of a sweeper that might have some bulk to not get hit super effective. I don't know, it's a poison, bug, fire, and ice weakness overall, and the resistance we would have that would like balance out our weakness to electric. We have the immunity anyway, so it doesn't matter. And also our resistances, we have steel, water, grass, and electric. So some of that is already because of the electric, and grass just doesn't give us too much to gain off of. Now when we look at its stats, we're going to see that, the 107 defenses and the 50 on the hit points, it really only works if you're heavily resisting or just tanking neutral hits. And fortunately, with the electric grass, you don't have too many common weaknesses because of it, but you still, you still have ice, you still have fire. Poison's a bit more popular because of fairy typings, so that does give you some problems, which means you don't want to get hit by that, and you're not going to use Rotom like your standard Rotom, which is why I wanted to show the electric grass typing first. But I do appreciate Game Freak for what they did. They came up with all these really crazy typings that really wouldn't make sense otherwise. But as long as you have an electric ghost thing that possesses and then drops the ghost typing to gain whatever other typing of what it's taking over, that's really neat, because now we have, we can make sense for a possessed refrigerator to be an electric typing with ice. That's pretty cool. And the same with this lawnmower form. That electric and grass, how else would you make that make sense? But it does with Rotom, so that is pretty neat. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown, you can run Rotom like some of the other forms that we have looked into, so I'm just going to go back and let's look at Fan Rotom a bit. You can play some kind of crazy game, you wouldn't have Air Slash, but you might be able to just try to cheese them out with a bit of hacks and then go for some damage, or you just go for the tankiness. You throw out the Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split into your damage move like a Thunderbolt, and then whatever other move you want to have here. Just depending on what you want to do. Rotom's good at tanking, it's good at just kind of stalling things out, but that's mostly because of its typing. So when we go to that grass electric and we have more weaknesses, we're just going to try to make use of our extra move. Now, the extra move that Rotom Mow gets is actually incredibly powerful because it's Leaf Storm. 130 base power, also going to get stab, and it lowers the special attack by 2. So that pretty much means you want to come in, blow up a Pokemon, and then switch out and go for something else like that, or use Trick. So Rotom, since it does get access to Trick, it's a really good Trick Pokemon that you'll see like a Scarf Rotom with Trick every once in a while, and it's really safe to lead with because either your opponent's in an unfavorable matchup and they want to switch out, and then the Pokemon coming in takes some good amount of damage from the Leaf Storm, or that they open up with a Pokemon that's going to get blown up regardless and they don't want to give up any other advantage, so you got the better lead and an advantage off of that, or that they lead with some kind of, status Pokemon, something that's trying to set hazards, and they trick a Choice Scarf onto them for free. You still have damage options, you're forcing them out into that Leaf Storm damage, and now you kind of shut down one of their Pokemon, that if it relies on status. If it relies on setup, then using Trick on it pretty much destroys it. Like imagine a Clefable. Clefable, it needs to get Calm Minds, a Pokemon that needs to use Calm Mind, a Pokemon that's kind of reliant on getting a Swords Dance or something. If you really take that away from it, well, now you just kind of got a free Pokemon without even knocking it out. So that's what you'll expect from Mow Rotom, and also Heat Rotom, so we'll talk about him later. And then we just kind of run with some other options from there. We have Volt Switch, so if it's unfavorable, we don't want to really use the Leaf Storm, we can hit him with the Volt Switch. You can do that, switch out for the free damage, and then you still have your Choice Scarf. Or you go for Hidden Power Fire, mostly because you're going to be resisted pretty hard by Steel or Grass typing, so you might as well just go for the Hidden Power Fire. Something like Ferrothorn you're going to give a hard time with, and then that's when we go and look at the stats. Pretty much you want Modest Nature, maxing out speed, maxing out special attack, and just going for the highest damage possible while getting as many outspeeds as you want. You can also run Timid. I would just prefer going for as much damage because 105 special attack, while it is good, it's not insane, and since we don't have any Life Orb or other kind of damage boosting with us, we need to get the most out of it for that Leaf Storm to really matter and maybe find some neutral KOs, and that's what it's all about. So that's kind of Rotom. That with Mow Rotom, you can run it like a standard Rotom, or you can just kind of go for some overwhelming Leaf Storm power, and this Pokemon can be hard to deal with. Now, the biggest reason why you want to run Mow Rotom is in a metagame that has a lot of Wash Rotom. Now, we see Mow Rotom in VGC doubles from time to time because it's like, well, a lot of the teams have Wash Rotom. If I bring Mow Rotom, I still have some Rotom potential. Maybe you might see the switch up, Leaf Storm with a hit point special attack investment, and then some other things like a Will-O-Wisp, like a Pain Split. So you play that mixed game, just kind of understanding, well, super effective hits are going to be somewhat common, but you also have another Pokemon supporting you, and you're just a huge damage threat. That you open with that Leaf Storm, you're going to scare off other Wash Rotoms, or they have to sacrifice themselves to get a Will-O-Wisp off on your Pokemon, and then that's just kind of what we're dealing with. So, just a lot of high damage, and it can work out pretty well. So it does have this interesting dynamic with Wash Rotom, which actually makes it viable because it counters out its own other form. Just weird stuff going on, but it's still a pretty powerful Pokemon. You can use it from time to time, and you can go for the Trick Shutdown. So if you guys enjoyed this video, that's how you use Mow Rotom, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.